After the man called a halt to all betting, he released the ball, completing the standard jackpot operation once again. The white ball finally landed in square 17. He quickly dealt chips for the winners while collecting the lost chips from the table, then prepared to start the next round of roulette. However, no one knew that over the past 15 years, this daily repetition of the same jackpot operation had secretly swindled nearly $10 million from the casino. Born in 1967, Robert had to drop out of college during his sophomore year due to family circumstances and became a roulette wheel operator at a casino. He worked in this position for 3 years. Although he seemed insignificant, he mastered the entire casino's operating logic during those 3 years. In March 1992, Robert successfully passed the assessment and officially became a licensed roulette wheel operator. His performance in the position was impeccable, and he was always on time, never causing any trouble, perfectly meeting all the casino's expectations for a high-quality employee. Robert worked as a roulette watcher for 12 years, and the moment that changed the course of his life was late at night on August 12, 2004. The Belmont roulette area was still brightly lit, and Hodge, a regular at the casino, sat down in front of Robert at his table, a stark contrast to the vast majority of gamblers there. He never believed in so-called luck, but always placed his chips on the 9 numbers adjacent to each other on the roulette wheel. These 9 numbers happened to cover a 90-degree fan-shaped area on the roulette wheel. Over the next 6 hours, he won $8,400 steadily with this fixed strategy. After leaving a tip, he calmly left the game. This seemingly ordinary game stirred up unprecedented waves in Robert's heart. He knew in his heart that his miraculous victory was not due to luck, but rather a precise grasp of the underlying logic of the roulette wheel's operation. With 12 years of experience, he had spun the wheel nearly 300,000 times. This operation had become muscle memory, but he had never seriously considered that his daily repetitive mechanical actions contained a secret that could overturn the rules. It is generally believed that the roulette wheel rotates about 3 times per second, and the ball is thrown in the opposite direction of the wheel's rotation. From that moment on, Robert began to pay special attention to every detail of his operations. He quickly discovered that more than 10 years of repetitive practice had already given him extremely stable muscle memory. The error in the ball throwing speed was always controlled within 3%, and the speed of the roulette wheel rotation was almost exactly the same every time. After repeated self-observation, he confirmed that when he threw the ball from a fixed position, he could predict the fan-shaped area where the ball would finally land and advance with nearly 70% probability. In the following 6 months, Robert began a near-frantic verification process. Before each roulette wheel spins, he would predict the fan-shaped area where the ball would land and record each set of data in his notebook. At the same time, he carefully studied the 3 different models of roulette machines in the casino, figured out the differences in their operation, and specially applied to be assigned to the roulette wheel with the highest stability. He even precisely locked onto his peak operating period, which was the 3 to 5 hours after his shift, as this was the window of opportunity with the highest prediction accuracy. By June 2005, Robert had recorded data from 2,470 roulette spins, with a peak prediction accuracy of 68.4%. From a mathematical probability perspective, the probability of winning by betting on the 9th area under normal circumstances is only 23.7%, while a prediction accuracy of nearly 70% completely reversed the advantage originally held by the house, forming an absolute profit advantage for the player. Robert couldn't play himself and had to find a partner he could absolutely trust. He eventually chose his wife's younger brother, Jimmy. At the time, Jimmy was living in dire straits. Robert revealed all his findings without reservation. A week later, on his day off, he took Jimmy to the casino, primarily testing the waters with small amounts, yet still managed to net $24,000 in the first 3 months. By March 2006, they had recruited 2 more absolutely reliable friends to join the group. The 4 of them had a clear division of labor. Robert was in charge of the operation, while the other 3 took turns going to the casino to place bets. Only one person was present each day from Monday to Saturday to deliberately avoid surveillance and capture fixed patterns. In order to keep their whereabouts hidden for a long time, they also formulated strict operational discipline. The amount of a single bet must not exceed $500, and the amount of a single game's winnings is capped at $15,000. In every 10 games, at least 3 must be intentionally lost, and the behavior must completely mimic that of an ordinary gambler. Between 2005 and 2008, through extreme caution and strict self-discipline, the team accumulated profits of $1.8 million. Robert did not squander this profit, but carefully stored all the funds. His daily life remained unchanged, and he even registered a real estate investment company to package all his illegal profits as legitimate income from real estate investments, completely avoiding the risk of unclear sources of funds. However, Beneath this seemingly peaceful and profitable life, a crisis was already brewing in the shadows. In January 2008, when the casino's new manager inspected the premises, he discovered that Jimmy had consistently won $14,200 in just 90 minutes, with an unusually steady winning pace. This did not match the typical luck fluctuations of a gambler, so an immediate request was made to review the surveillance footage for a full review. Robert learned of this the next day and was terrified. Over the next 8 days, casino investigators repeatedly reviewed the surveillance footage, but only saw a typical gambler who focused on betting on a fan-shaped area and won more often than he lost. No cheating devices or suspicious gestures were found, and the investigation was ultimately attributed to normal probability. Robert suffered from severe insomnia as a result, and this deep-seated fear kept him alert and saved the team during subsequent crises. The second crisis was far more dangerous than the first, directly touching the core of the entire plan. In June 2011, the casino specially hired Rex, a former detective with 20 years of investigation experience, as the monitoring director. He was an expert in cases of illegal gambling in casinos and had extremely strong professional abilities. In his first month in office, Rex spearheaded the launch of a big data statistical tracking system. Whenever a gambler's winning probability exceeded the normal random range, the system would automatically mark and warn him. While chatting with his supervisor, Robert unexpectedly discovered that his cousin appeared on the system's warning list. Upon learning this, Robert immediately halted all of his cousin's actions. The entire team drastically reduced their betting frequency, resulting in a significant drop in profits. However, they successfully evaded the system's focused investigation. Rex never connected this frequently winning gambler with Robert, the unassuming veteran dealer in the casino, still categorizing him as an ordinary player with exceptionally good luck. The third crisis came from the rapidly evolving surveillance technology. In March 2016, the casino fully upgraded its surveillance system. The introduction of AI-driven facial recognition and behavior tracking technology is specifically designed to mark and track gamblers who exhibit abnormal profits when paired with certain officials. Upon learning this, Robert immediately suggested stopping, but his wife calmly offered advice. The new system tracks fixed behavioral patterns, and by actively breaking these patterns, detection can be avoided. The group then adjusted their tactics, with Jimmy and the others no longer consistently waiting at Robert's table, but instead moving to multiple casinos. They dragged a gambling table to distract themselves, finally going to Robert's roulette table for half an hour before leaving. Although their efficiency was greatly reduced and their profits decreased accordingly, the AI system only detected a group of ordinary gamblers with scattered playing styles and conventional behavior. Once again, they narrowly escaped disaster in a 15-year covert operation. Robert accumulated nearly $10 million in profits using this method based on the laws of physics. However, behind this huge profit was endless mental anxiety. His insomnia became more and more serious. He would wake up from nightmares every night. Even an unintentional glance from the casino manager or a turn of the surveillance camera would make his heart race and his body tense. He lived in constant fear of being discovered. In December 2018, the casino officially announced that it would completely replace its roulette machines with fully automatic ones in April 2019. This equipment features a built-in random speed control function, specifically designed to eliminate the predictive margin caused by dealers' operational inertia, thus completely eliminating their profit-making path. Robert felt a surge of greed, wanting to gamble in the last few months and accumulate more profits, but his wife firmly shook her head and dissuaded him. He was warned that most people stumble because of greed at the last moment. The $9 million profit was already enough, and there was no need to take one last risk. Robert knew his wife's words made sense, and the two immediately decided to completely scale back the operation. In March 2019, all plans were terminated. Robert simultaneously applied for early retirement. Over the next 3 months, team members gradually reduced their visits to the casino and faded from the surveillance view. This secret plan spanning 15 years thus came to a quiet end. March 28, 2019, was Robert's last shift at the casino. At 11:47 p.m. that night, Robert completed his final roulette spin of his career. The ball slowly landed in square 17, exactly the same spot as the ball that landed 15 years earlier before his miraculous win. At midnight, he officially handed back the roulette vest he had worn for 27 years, calmly walked out of the casino, and the security guards at the door didn't even glance at him. No one knew that behind this ordinary old roulette player lay a secret unknown to all. Thank you for watching.